Recording. Woo!
Hey! I've never counted that way. I've never counted 3, 2, 1.
Well, I can't. It's like the European way because I can't do a 3. Like it doesn't.
No,
It
it's okay.
looks
I
like
was thinking about that. Every time I see somebody do it like that, I always think about Inglourious Bastards, the movie. And so, so like I noticed, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do it that way, but I cannot.
Well, because this is easier to do with my hands than whatever this is. Like I can't do it. So.
Not a problem. I'm not one to complain. After all, you are the one with the talented hands.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So it's me, Shallow 360.
And Mason.
And it's not about Raikantopani today. Today we're doing a music retrospective. I think that's a better way of putting this than saying review.
Yes.
So Mason will probably be better able to tell you about his history with music than what I can recall. But from what I understood, Mason, you kind of got into music a little bit late.
Yeah, my music journey is really stupid. So I enjoyed music, I guess a little bit. Like I liked Disney music and I liked Glee, and I would listen to Glee soundtracks in early high school and middle school and stuff. And then when I got into K-pop, I was like, hey, there's actually a lot of great stuff in music. So it wasn't until 2015 when I started listening to actual albums by people. But I very rarely went back and listened to the stuff my mom listened to on the radio. I've never gone back and been like, wow, I need to listen to a whole Journey album. That's what I'm doing with my day. So this was a fun experiment to go back and revisit a lot of Madonna.
Yes, and I am a lapsed Madonna fan. I'm just gonna say it as a fact. Growing up, I loved Madonna. I had all of her albums, and then American Life happened. Actually, the music album before that, I was kind of disappointed, but then the American Life album happened, was not vibing with it at all, and I haven't bought a Madonna project since. And it's a shame, honestly, because Madonna, in many, many ways, is a feminist icon. I will never take that away from her. But I don't know. Over the recent years, I found myself very disconnected from who Madonna is as both an artist and a person. So it was nice to go back and listen to some of this early Madonna work because it reminds me of why Madonna meant so much to me and why I follow her career relentlessly. I've told the story a million times, but the best Christmas I ever had was one year my mom bought me the soundtrack to Evita. She bought me a CD player and she bought me a 1,000-piece puzzle. I went into my room at 9 a.m. in the morning after opening my Christmas presents and didn't emerge from my room until 6 o'clock that evening because I spent the entire time playing the Evita soundtrack on loop while putting together a puzzle.
Did you finish the puzzle?
I did.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
and I hold that memory in my heart. It was a great day, and it was literally just me being the loneliest person in the world, but still, there was a bit of zenness to that. And by the time that day was over, I knew all the lyrics to all the songs. So yeah, I have big and deep love for Madonna. But it's been a while since I revisited the catalog, so I'm really excited to do this. Also, we talk a lot about gay media here, and we would be remiss to talk about gay media and not talk about Madonna, because in so many ways, she is kind of that bridge from underground gay language, gay dance, gay mannerisms. She kind of opened the door to let that underground ballroom scene become mainstream culture. And you have people nowadays who are like, oh, when I say yes, honey, or queen, that I'm speaking internet slang. But no, you're speaking AAVE, and you're getting that because Madonna opened the doors to Black ballroom culture, and then all of a sudden, that became the vernacular. That became the linguistic style of the young people now. So yeah, I think it is very important to kind of talk about Madonna because in a lot of ways, we are talking together because Madonna opened the door to normalizing a lot of what was initially queer media.
Right.
Yeah. So in order to give us a framework to talk about Madonna today, we decided to do the one disc version of her Celebration album. So, Celebration, the album, is a retrospective of Madonna's career. I would say, like, maybe the first 20 years of her career. And there's several different versions. There's a 2-disc version, there's a digital 2-disc version, and then there's a 1-disc version. So to keep us from being here for 15 hours, we decided we were going to do the 1-disc version because honestly and truly, it's probably got the biggest hits on it. And also, each song on this version has an eye-popping visual to go with it. So it just made it for a much easier way to talk about Madonna and her career.
Right.
Yeah. So let's start with the very first track on Celebration, probably the last big Madonna dance song that I remember really liking, and it is Hung Up from her album Confessions on a Dance Floor from 2005.
Well, I mean, the song's fantastic. There's no denying. It samples ABBA. The ABBA song's fantastic, and the Madonna version's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think my only complaint is I think the song is too long for me as like an audio listen. If
Mm-hmm.
you're like on a dance floor and the song is 5.5 minutes, I'd get it. Listening to it for 5.5 minutes, I'm like, okay, I would like to stop now because it gets a little too repetitive. And B, I hate the music video. It's shit. I hate it so much.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the music video. Madonna is a video icon. Like
Mm,
her, Madonna, Prince, Michael Jackson, they were kind of the cornerstone of the whole MTV music video movement.
mhm.
And Madonna, one of the things I love about Celebration as an album is that there is a video for every single thing here. And I think you can't really talk about Madonna as a musical artist without talking about her as a visual artist. But one thing I have noticed about her career over her entire career, yes, Madonna did bring a lot of stuff from gay culture into the mainstream, but Madonna is the example of appropriation. Through every phase of her career, she's always utilized another culture to give her some sort of relevance, whether that culture be Black gay culture, whether that culture be Latin culture, and in this case, youth. She kind of presents herself as being a part of youth culture. They start dancing to Dance Dance Revolution at one point in the video. You see a
Yeah.
bunch of young people dancing on subways, dancing in streets, and then you see her dancing in a studio. But the thing is, the people you're seeing dancing in the streets, the people dancing in the subway, the people dancing at the arcade, they're all in their 20s. They're in their late teens, early 20s. At this point in the game, Madonna's probably 40, and she stands out as
Right.
being like that really uncool mom who's trying to tell the other girls that she's the cool mom. Like, she doesn't fit. And I think this is part of the reason why I really started to pull away from Madonna, because at that point, 2005, I was still in my 20s, and I was like, girl, you're a little long in the tooth to be trying to pretend like you're a part of this underground urban scene when we know very well you're not.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that that's probably one of the big drawbacks of this video, is that it could have been a great video if it had just been Madonna at a club dancing on the dance floor. But her trying to put forth the
Mhm.
narrative that I'm a part of what's cool and current and new, and I'm part of the vibe, it just doesn't meld with who you were as a person and the reality of who you were as a person at that stage in the game.
That's a really good point. You went a lot deeper with this than I had thought of. I was just like, I just think aesthetically, the visuals don't match the song at all. And that is what bothered me because she's singing a great 80s pop tune, a hardcore dance tune. You know, I'm thinking bright, colorful, vibrance, and she's in like a dingy dance studio. Then it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I think that this needs like the K-pop candy color treatment. That's what this music video is for me, or should have been.
Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna do it, I would do it kind of like the Girls' Generation All Night video.
Yes. Yeah, like that. Bright colors, cool costumes, like girls having fun at the dance. Perfect.
Yeah, but this whole like, this is something raw, this is street energy, like no, this song is gloss, this song is glitter, this song is
Yeah.
light.
I'm glad that she puts meaning into her work, but I don't need meaning in this moment. Like, I'm literally here to have fun for this song, you know?
Yeah. Like honestly, we could have had like oiled beautiful boys and glitter covered beautiful girls and just
Mhm.
bodies moving on a dance floor and it would have been fine.
Yeah, some strobe lights, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
this could have been done a lot better.
Okay. So next we have the song Music from the Music CD, which was in 2000. And this has a guest feature, the video from Sacha Baron Cohen, who's better known for being
Oh,
Borat.
I didn't realize that was him. I just
Yes,
thought he
that's
was some random man.
yeah, that's Sacha Baron Cohen, who everyone knows better as Borat. And at the time, he was playing a character called Ali G on
Mm.
British television. So Madonna, as you guys know, around this period in time, decided she was going to be British. So she had married this guy. Oh, I can't remember his name now, but he was the director of Train Spotting.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was like, I'm British now, fuck America. And so in order to kind of like reinforce that, she's like, I'm going to bring a British celebrity into this music video and we're going to have a great time. And I wish that Ali G was not in this video, because if he was out of this video and everything that he brought to the video was out of this video, number one, this video would be so much more fun, just like Madonna and her best girlfriends out having lesbian adventures.
Uh-huh.
And two, I think that it wouldn't date this video so much, because this video with his presence is super dated.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it very much feels like it was made in 2000s, but like we're still today making videos of women going to strip clubs and watching girls twerk. Like that's still a thing now. So I think like take him out of it and everything is kosher. Also, I feel like we were just talking about Hung Up being more of a club tune. The video for Music would be great for Hung Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is another one where I just didn't like the video. I didn't even like the her and like it was just I just didn't like the outfits. I didn't like it visually. Like something about her early 2000 videos look way worse than a lot of her 90s stuff.
Mm.
Like the visuals that you get from like a lot of her earlier like the Vogue video or Material Girl, stuff like that. Like she had some really strong aesthetics and visuals going for her in the 80s and the 90s that like something about the her early 2000 stuff misses completely. It's like overblown lighting, she's washed out, it looks weird. I don't like it.
I do think that the camera work in this video is a little off-putting because of the fact that it's that British filter. I don't know what that's called. I always call it the British filter. There's something about the way they film things in England that has this kind of like almost dry feeling to it, whereas American camera work tends to look a little bit wetter, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's very obvious from watching this video that it was filmed in the UK or using a UK staff,
Yeah.
because it doesn't have the same feeling that her American videos have.
Right, right.
Yeah. But the song, I like Music. I
Yeah,
think that
it's good.
the whole "Hey, Mr. DJ, put
DJ,
a
put a
record on,"
record on.
I think that's cute and it's fun. And I definitely could see it as like that song that you would play as you're getting dressed in your room on the way to the club.
Right. Like at the end of the song, you arrive at the club, and then how you play
Yeah,
Hung Up.
yeah. As you open the doors to the club, you hear Hung Up like booming and
Yeah.
pulsing from the room. Ah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Madonna, if you ever decide you want to do a Broadway musical and you need some people to like figure out where to fit songs into scenes,
Mhm.
come find us because we've got that.
Oh yeah, that'd be a
Yeah,
great musical. I would love that.
I would
Um,
love it too.
the one thing about the song, I don't think it's in the recorded version, but in the video, there's like a DJ put it back on moment that I really loved because it just reminded me of Girls' Generation. There was like a spoken word like DJ put it back on, and I was like, okay.
I think it's wonderful. I like the little cartoon break in the video because that is a little bit different than the song that when they play it on the radio. So I really like
Mhm.
that. I like the different filters they use. So sometimes it sounds like she's underwater, and then sometimes it sounds like she's not underwater. They
Yeah.
do some really playful, fun stuff with this song. I think this is a decent song, and it was, like I said, the last Madonna album I bought the day it was released, and so good memories for that. I don't know if I like the rest of the album as much, but I remember thinking that was a really good single.
Yeah, it's a shame to hear that the rest of the album was not too great though.
Yeah. Well, this was, if I'm remembering it correctly, I want to say this was the album that she put out after the album that Frozen was on.
Hmm.
And so she was kind of just getting away from more of her yogi, Kabbalah-esque kind of vibe.
Hmm.
And so there were still kind of traces of that in the music album. And I'm one of the few people who, like, the whole Madonna Frozen vibe was not mine. Ray of Light, that's the album. Ray of Light was not the Madonna I wanted. Now, I will say, I think Ray of Light is a brilliant album, and I think it was a brilliant move for Madonna because Madonna was growing up and she was giving you a very mature, more introspective, more revelatory album with Ray of Light. But I like to dance, and Madonna had me dancing for years. And so when Ray of Light came around, I'm like, I'm not dancing as hard to this as I want to. So,
Soft
sorry.
works only.
Yeah, like I have certain people I go to for certain things. I don't want to go to a Meg Thee Stallion concert and sing gospel hymns. I came there to shake it ass. And
You're like, I'm here for thought shit.
that's pretty much me. I feel like I showed up to Madonna's club wearing like glitter booty shorts and everybody else is there in like evening gowns. I'm like, okay, different vibe.
Right,
Not
right.
interested about the evening, but okay.
All right. The next song after that is Vogue. I mean, classic, iconic, perfect. What is there to say about Vogue that hasn't already been said?
Just Vogue is the Madonna. Like, if I had to pick one video to show somebody to be like, this is Madonna, Vogue is that girl.
Yeah.
She's first of all, she's beautiful. The video is beautiful. It is very much a 1930s film tribute, definitely dedicated to all the different stars that she named.
Yes.
Greta Garbo, Adam Monroe, Dietrich and DiMaggio, like that whole old Hollywood glitz and glamour. Madonna looks the best she's ever looked. Her skin
Yeah.
is flawless. Her hair is golden. Everyone in the video looks great. All of her background dancers look amazing. All of her background singers look amazing. It's a black and white video, but it's just phenomenal. I mean, it's just, I
So
could talk
good.
about that video all day long. But not only that, the song itself, Vogue, this is why we say Madonna is a gay icon. Vogue is something very specific.
Hmm.
Vogue is the ballroom, and Vogue still happens now. People are
Yeah.
still voguing. In
Oh,
fact, we just got
absolutely.
through with an entire series called Pose about the
Hmm.
ballroom scene and about how big a part voguing was of that. And so, in so many ways, this is quintessential Madonna.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree that this is probably like the Madonna song, look, period, everything.
Yeah.
Like this is her legacy, and it's a great legacy to have. I mean, truly, she did that. Um, Great song. I love the MTV, the VMAs performance she did, where she's like dressed as like, in like
Marie
Rococo.
Antoinette.
Yeah, Marie Antoinette. That was so good.
There are a lot of really great visuals around Madonna at this time. There's the tour visuals, there's the MTV visuals, there's the video visuals. Like, Madonna really was at her apex here. Like, this was the height
Yeah.
of Madonna. And the song, we're talking about the visuals, but the song is so catchy. It's just
Oh
got
yeah.
so many fun moments to it.
Yeah. Each moment is better than the last.
Yeah, and it does have a lot of different phases. You've got kind of her rapping part of it. You've got kind of the dance breakdown of the Vogue, 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 and then you've got her just kind of crooning to the end of the song. Let your body go with the music. Like, she
Yeah.
does. There's just so many great moments in this song, and so yeah, forever and ever, Vogue is an icon, a movement, a moment. We love her. All
Yeah.
right, let's see what's next. We have, woo, 4 minutes featuring Justin Timberlake off of the Hard Candy album.
Where do we start on 4 minutes? Okay, I want to start. So this is probably the first Madonna song that I remember coming out. Like as a kid, I remember this song everywhere. Um, it is a good song that has been overplayed for me. So going back, I was like, yeah, there's parts of this that are good and I get it, but no, thank you.
I really loved 4 Minutes when it first came out because it came out in 2008 and I was still a huge fan of Justin Timberlake at the time. It was nice to see Madonna do something a little bit different than what I was used to with her.
Mhm.
Madonna and Timberland is a combination I would have never guessed years ago.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I had already made up my mind that I really wasn't going to be listening to any Madonna albums anytime soon. And this is when kind of Madonna as a person started to overshadow who Madonna as an artist was for me. And I
Mhm.
remember watching this video for the first time thinking, I'm uncomfortable with this. This feels very gross. And it wasn't because Madonna was so much older than Justin Timberlake. It was more of the fact that in this video, I almost felt like Madonna was a succubus. Like she was trying to suck young energy away from Justin Timberlake. She was trying to show all these different style of couples being intimate and you know how like, oh, we're just two voyagers throughout time and we're kind of the soothsayers. And I'm like, but Madonna, like, no, no, just stop. Nobody wants to watch you twist and twirl. No, just stop. And it's not even about the fact that at this point, Madonna, I think, might have been closer to 50, maybe. It was really about the fact that at this point in her career, it almost felt like she was starting to begin stunt Madonna. And that's what we've had from Madonna. I would say over the last 10 years, almost everything that Madonna has done has been stunt Madonna. And it felt like this was the start of stunt Madonna, even though Madonna's been known for stunts throughout her career. Let's not get it twisted. Like a Virgin, the VMA performance, that was a stunt. The Sex Book, that was a stunt. Madonna's done a lot of stunts over the years, but with all those stunts previously, they matched up to really interesting and progressive musical minutes. This song wasn't that. This song really was just like one more stunt to try to get my name out there in the public and get people talking about me one last time. And it just kind of fell flat. And as the years have gone by and we've kind of been made privy to kind of who Justin Timberlake is as a person, it just makes it to where this song is practically unbearable. I still think it's a well-produced song. I
Mhm.
think it's probably one of Madonna's last actual interesting singles that she's done. But in terms of like wanting to go back and hear the song over again, no, no. It's tired. The video's tired. The song is tired. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was fine, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's we're gonna be talking about so many better of all the songs on this. Probably the two songs I would put at the very bottom of this entire list is this song and Celebration itself, because Celebration itself,
Not a good song at all.
yeah, yeah, it's bad. All right, so the next song is Like a Virgin from 1984's Like a Virgin.
Wait, the next song is Holiday.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I skipped. You're right. Okay, let's talk about Holiday then. Holiday is from Madonna's Madonna album. So Holiday was the big breakout song for Madonna because I want to say the first single that she had was Everybody, but Holiday was the one that she did on American Bandstand with the iconic interview. So what's next for Madonna? And she's like, to rule the world. What a bold bitch.
Right?
Yes, I love it. I love the fact that in 1983, Madonna saw that for herself as a
Yeah,
brand new artist and was not afraid to say it.
right.
Yeah. And she made good on her promise.
Truly.
Hmm. So what do we think about Holiday?
I mean, it's cute. It's a moment. I was watching the video thinking, I will never want to watch this. I never want to watch this again though. Not that it's bad. It's just like really grainy like studio footage of like her in a dance room with like two other people. And it's really simple, but it's like just a kind of meh dance video from the 1980s.
Yeah, well, music videos weren't what they became. In the
Right,
1980s, most music videos were just like performances being captured for posterity.
right.
So I don't blame her for like the not great video, but the song. What did you think of the song?
I have no strong opinion on this track. If I heard it
It,
again, I'd be like, cute. You know what? It's fun. If I never heard it again, don't think I'd be that sad.
I have a hard time judging Holiday because Holiday is such a part of like my life that
Oh, okay.
I don't even think I hear Holiday anymore. Like when I hear it, I could be half asleep after like being awake for 24 hours and I could sing every lyric to that song because it's just such a part of the background of my life.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry for
Yeah.
just shitting on it.
No, no, you're not shitting on it. I'm just saying, like, that's the thing with people who I know. The reason I'm saying this is because I need to say this. There are going to be some people who are going to listen to our retrospective and be like, you know nothing about Madonna, and you need to respect this, and you need to understand that. Listen, if you grew up a fan of Madonna, if you've been a fan of Madonna for decades, you don't hear Madonna the way new ears hear Madonna. For someone like Mason, who is born a decade or two after 1983, Holiday doesn't hit the same way. I
Yeah.
grew up with Holiday. So Holiday does sound very different to me than it would a new set of ears. And I think that's important to remember because a lot of the critique that people have for Madonna now are people who didn't grow up with Madonna as their icon, people who didn't grow up with Madonna being one of the biggest artists in the world. Like during the time that Mason was listening to pop culture, Madonna at that point was already somebody who had been popular for 20 or 30 years. So for him to be like, oh yeah, Madonna, it's kind of the same as saying, oh yeah, McDonald's. Somebody who's tasting McDonald's cheeseburger isn't going to think it's the greatest thing in the world. But that first time you had a McDonald's cheeseburger might be like, oh yeah, this is pretty great. But once you've gotten used to it, it's just like, it's just always been there. What's the big deal? And
Right.
not understanding that the big deal is that Burger King and McDonald's basically started the whole fast food takeover. So yeah, I really feel like with Holiday, while I am somebody who grew up with it and I see how kind of it changed the game in terms of females in music,
Hmm.
at the same time, I don't expect Mason to be like, this is a great song. This is very much just a stereotypical 80s synthesizer driven dance song.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
not like a virgin, which is the next song.
No, onto an actually really good song,
Yeah.
like a virgin. I'm very familiar with the Glee cover, popular Glee cover for my generation. um, and then the VMAs was just her in the wedding dress dancing around, right?
Yes, and then humping the floor.
Oh, is that the controversial part?
Yes, because even though the song is Like a Virgin, touched for the very first time,
Hmm.
her being in the wedding dress and being like, this is what happens after the wedding, I'm fucking the shit out of you,
Hmm.
people were scandalized because at the time, we weren't at the point where women were expressing that they enjoyed sex the same way that men do. It was like, if you're going to sing about being virginal, you're singing about how you're scared of the dick.
Right,
And so a lot of people had really negative things to say about her for basically embracing her sexuality.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a great song. It's a great video. It was a great performance.
I love this song. I love Like a Virgin. I love the fact that Madonna's not a great singer, but she's such an interesting singer that she took a song that's kind of quirky and weird and she made it a classic. Like she does so many
Hmm.
weird things with her voice throughout the song. She goes really low in some moments, she goes really high and kind of nasally in others. And
Yeah,
it just definitely spoke to like, this woman may not be a Whitney Houston in terms of vocals, but she's got like star power.
for sure. That's definitely her best quality. Very much like a Sunmi or a Hyuna, like not the best singer, but can move her voice in interesting enough ways throughout tracks.
Right. So, Like a Virgin, a favorite. Next is one of my favorite 80s songs ever. It's Into the Groove from the Like a Virgin album, released in 1985. Into the Groove was a song that was used to promote the movie Desperately Seeking Susan. So for those of you who don't know, in the 80s, Madonna featured in a movie called Desperately Seeking Susan that starred Rosanna Arquette. And fun fact, Rosanna Arquette, she's a member of the Arquette acting family. So David Arquette is her brother. They also have a couple more siblings that are in acting as well. One of them passed away recently, rest in peace. But also the group Toto, who sings Africa, they have a song called Rosanna that was actually written by the lead singer of Toto for Rosanna Arquette. So if you ever hear the song on the radio, Rosanna, Rosanna, that's her song. Anyway, Desperately Seeking Susan. It was a popular movie. Unfortunately, Madonna in the movie plays kind of herself. She plays kind of a streetwise, kind of club party girl who does her own thing, isn't beholden to anybody, is just out here to live her manic pixie dream girl life, right? Because she had a minimal character in the movie, and because she wasn't really expected to give a lot of range, people thought she did well in her role because her role was basically written to be her. And that started Madonna off on a many years quest of movie stardom that never came to fruition, like ever.
She thought she was going to be Cher and won the Oscar.
Yeah. So after Desperately Seeking Susan, it was Who's That Girl? And then a few more forgettable things. She did Evita, which I thought she was good in. People who are Broadway purists do not feel the same way.
I do not feel the same way.
But after years of watching Madonna try to act, I thought she did great in Evita. I was like, all right, finally, you got one. And then right after that, I think she tried to do Castaway, which was directed by her then husband. They divorced shortly after that movie came out. That movie was trash. And I'm just glad that Madonna has kind of given up on acting at this point because, you know, you can't have all the talents, girl. Some stuff you got to leave on the floor.
Agreed.
Yeah, they gave you dance. They gave you a bit of singing. They gave you buckets of charisma. Take that and let's go home.
Mm-hmm.
But Into the Groove, love this song. It is one of my favorite 80s songs. It is just, I don't know how to describe it. It is musical catnip to me. I never skip the song whenever it comes on anywhere. And it just gives me really fond memories of being a kid in the 80s. And so, yeah, Mason, I'm sure that you're like, I don't remember what this song sounds like, but that's okay.
I don't remember what this is one of the ones that I don't remember what it sounds like. And I
Yeah.
watched it all this morning.
So, groove is the get into the groove, boy, you got to prove
Yeah, I like that part. Not a
Yeah.
bad song. Like none of these songs are bad. I really like this song. I just like this one hasn't ingrained itself, hasn't wormed its way into my brain the way others have.
And that's okay. I'm not mad at that. But yeah, definitely one of the other big things about Into the Groove is that at the same time that Madonna was getting kind of this acting role, it was because Madonna's look was becoming all the rage. Like teen girls were out here dressing like Madonna. And I think we're going to talk about, are we going to talk about, yeah, we're going to talk about Dress You Up later. But Madonna's whole kind of like tank top with a fishnet over it and lots of belts and lots of jewelry and like the hair tied up with a headband. That was such the look at the time. Like whole department stores were changing out their juniors wear to be able to give girls the opportunity to create these looks. So that's another reason why Into the Groove is so fun, because I think about that time and I think about all the people dancing to the song and trying to look like Madonna at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So next is a complete departure. It is Like a Prayer.
Wow, we really the videos have really escalated to this point.
So Like a Prayer is a story video. It's not, some of the other videos we've been doing have been very much just like a chance to perform a song or just like get a vibe for a song. This is very much a story video. And at the time, woo, conservatives hated this fucking video. They had so many problems. Their two biggest problems, Jesus kissing a person, and 2, Jesus being Black.
Mm-hmm.
Big problems.
Yep. Wasn't
And
God a Black woman too in the video?
I don't know if
Or
that
was
was
that an
supposed to be.
angel?
I think it might have been an angel.
Oh, okay.
Mixed messaging on this. For those of you who don't know, Madonna grew up Catholic. That's why her name is Madonna, literally, because she grew up super uber Catholic. And throughout her career, she's made statements about Catholicism, and religion has been a part of her life because, as most people who grew up Catholic can tell you, that pretty much defined your entire childhood. If you grew up practicing Catholicism, like, it's a huge part of your life. And so this was her kind of making a statement about Catholicism and that whole deal. But watching it back after so many years, because Like a Prayer came out in 1989, so it's been now 30 years since then, more than 30 years. There are some things about this video that to me don't sit right. And I think the main thing that doesn't sit right to me is the way that Black people are used kind of in the mystical, magical Negro trope.
There is a great video I just watched about that by Princess Weeks on YouTube. I'll have to send it to you after this, and I'll link it down below. But she did a really good video on just this topic a few days ago.
Yeah, and very much like you got Leon, who is our Jesus type figure, who
Mhm.
comes in after a gang of white men attempt to rape a girl. And the police show up, and because he's got blood on his hands, they assume that he's the perpetrator. Madonna witnesses this, and by the end of the video, she decides to tell the police the truth. But in the meantime, because Leon is this Christ-like figure, she's making parallels between his persecution for being the person on the scene to be the same as Jesus's persecution at the cross. And then she's got this choir full of Black people hooting and hollering and singing for Madonna, while Madonna's in front of the choir doing her dance and, being the center of attention. And I was saying earlier about how Madonna likes to appropriate cultures outside of her own to kind of prop her up and make her more interesting culturally. And watching this video with that particular lens, I don't like this video.
Right.
And I feel like there was no need for this. This was a fine song. This is a fine 80s into the 90s song. It
Mhm.
didn't need all that. And this is still stuff that Madonna has a problem with now. And that's the other part of it that's so frustrating. So a few years ago, Madonna adopted her first Black child. So Madonna's adopted 3 children from Africa so far, but she adopted her first Black child. His name is David. I want to say he's like 16 or 17 now. And when she adopted him, I want to say it was a few years later, she had an Instagram post where she was talking to her white son that she had with her husband, who was one of the older children. And she's like, "That's my nigga." And people were like, "Madonna, why are you doing this?" And she's like, "I've got Black children, leave me alone," basically. Then, years later, Michael Jackson dies. And she has her son, David, the first African child she adopted, do an interpretive dance to show homage to Michael Jackson. So she's got her son, David, out here doing the Michael Jackson moves and stuff.
I remember this.
Yes. And like she continuously puts her African son in these weird positions. She's constantly kind of, I don't want to say exploiting, but it feels kind of like she's exploiting him on social media and her Black children. And I just don't like it. Just straight up, I don't like it. I don't like the way that over the last several years, Madonna has made sure she's kept a boyfriend of color on her arm. I don't like the fact that when Madonna did the sex book, she put a lot of people of color in really gross kind of subservient positions in the book.
Mhm.
Like in the book, she's naked with Naomi Campbell and Big Daddy Kane and a few other Black stars as well. And it's just, I wish that she would leave us in peace.
Right.
Leave us alone, because I don't want it. I don't want it. And this song didn't need to have that. I feel like if Madonna couldn't justify why this couldn't be an all-white cast, there's a problem here. If it had to be Black for a specific reason, there's a problem here, because it's not like Madonna is telling her African American experience.
Right, right.
She's basically giving herself an avenue to play the white savior. That's what this story is about.
Yeah. Yeah, she does give off big white savior vibes.
Yeah. So, good song.
It's a
Terrible
cute song.
video.
Cute song.
Yeah. Next, we have Ray of Light, another swift departure.
So I think I was listening to this and I'm like, I feel like this is the song that might age the best out of a lot of these. Because I think as good as a lot of the 80s stuff is, it is locked intrinsically to the 80s. I feel like this has a bit more, like, could go between a couple musical eras.
I agree. This song came out 1998.
Mm-hmm.
So right at the kind of turn of the century, practically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was EDM music, which EDM music does have almost kind of a timeless quality to it. Like you can listen to Daft Punk music from early in their career to now, and it still kind of gives you the same feeling. It doesn't feel dated. So definitely Ray of Light is interesting in that it is a style that doesn't have a firm marker in history, because as with most dance music, it lives on the fringes of society, whereas her pop stuff, pop is pop for a reason. It's the most popular music in the world, the most popular music in society. So it gets locked into whatever time period it comes out in. Whereas
Right.
dance music, it kind of always lives on the edge. So people don't really recall, like, is this a 90s song? Is this a 2000 song? No, it's just a dance song.
Right.
Yeah. The video for this song is super late 90s, early 2000s.
Like everyone was doing coke apparently.
Yeah.
Like that video is hard to watch. It's just
Yeah.
everything moving really fast at all times and like
Yeah,
really offbeat.
it's time lapse footage, basically.
Yeah.
It's just strictly time lapse footage.
Yeah.
Um, and I thought Madonna looked good in this video. The all
Yeah.
denim outfit, great look,
Oh
classic. I
yeah.
love it. But yeah, the video is much more dated than the song. Now, this video was like Madonna's big comeback, because even though Madonna had been super popular in the 80s and even into the early 90s, she had kind of hit a wall for her popularity, and people really didn't know what the next new thing from Madonna could possibly be. And this is when she really got into Kabbalah and just was really changing a lot of stuff up. She had already done Evita at that point, and her last big hit prior to Ray of Light was oh gosh, the ballad song with Babyface. Take a Bow. That's the name of the song. It
That was
wasn't on.
Madonna?
Yeah, Take a Bow was Madonna.
Why do you think that was Rihanna? Wait.
No, there's several Take a Bows, but
Oh, okay.
Madonna had Take a Bow, the night is over. And the video is her in the Spanish bullfighter storyline. It was basically her audition to be Evita, practically.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that was like her big pop hit. And that song was written by Babyface, which, if you know anything about Babyface, he was really popular with like writing ballads and stuff like that, which was so different from Madonna's early dance roots. So she was kind of trying to figure out, what do I do next? Do I like lean into like the balladry and that kind of thing? Or
Mhm.
do I try to find something that is young, that is fresh, but that's maybe a little bit different than what people are used to hearing me do? And instead of leaning into R&B, she decided to move forward into dance, and that's where she comes up with Ray of Light. And Ray of Light, again, timeless because it is a dance song, but also the most bizarre lyrics of any Madonna song in her catalog.
Yeah, I guess the lyrics are kind of funky. I do think this one made me feel like, it does feel like a Ray, like this is a really happy song. And it's like, yeah, this one's in my head. And I'm like, I'm in a good mood when the song's in my head, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely like Corvette with the top down music.
Yes, driving through LA, perfect.
Yeah. So interesting that the duality of Madonna.
Yeah.
All right. Next song, back to cultural appropriation with La Isla Bonita.
Okay. Song-wise, one of my favorites. I really love this song.
Yes. I love this song too.
Excellent. tropical, the island breeze, and then the people going, in the background. Yeah, I'm really into it.
Yeah, we love a Latin guitar in this household.
Yeah.
So very much a fan of the song. The video, however, what a dumpster fire.
I have no idea what was happening. She was like a somber white woman staring out the window, looking at her Spanish lover, and then like dances with him at the end.
Is he her lover?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like you're like one white woman who's like the first person to move into a minority neighborhood because she's gonna be like a pioneer gentrifier, and she looks out her window to see. So she looks out the window to see all these Latin people having fun. So she prays to the god of gentrification, they'll accept her to the fiesta. And she comes out in full like flamenco dance outfit and hair. She didn't have any hair when the video started. She comes out with a full like braided ensemble of hair and just starts dancing with the people in the street. And they're like, oh my God, Madonna, you're the most beautiful senorita we've ever seen. We can't believe you joined us for the fiesta. And she goes over to this guy who's been playing guitar all day long, like sniffs his neck and then runs down the street. And it's just like, girl, what the fuck is going on here?
I feel like Madonna sees outfits from other cultures that she thinks would be cute and then like is like, let's do a song like that. I am honestly surprised, at least to my knowledge, she never did like, I know she's worn kimonos. I'm surprised she's never done like a song with like traditional Chinese instrumentation or something like that in it. Because I
she
feel like
might have.
She might have, and honestly, that could be the next step.
I'm telling you, like she might decide that K-pop is her next move. Watch Madonna and BTS do a collab. But yeah, she's just like, give me everything that's not white and I would like to have a piece of it. And so she's like, Latin culture, here for it. And what's super ironic is that I feel like this video might have been filmed in LA. It looks like it was filmed in LA. And LA is currently going through that right as we speak. Like Echo Park was one of the first big Latin communities in LA to be gentrified, super gentrified. And it's moving on to even more places in LA. Like I was listening to a podcast about a council person who sold out the community of Boyle Heights in LA. And his name is Jose Huizar. And just an awful person. I hope nothing good ever happens to him. I hope he stubs his toe every time he even thinks about cheating. Anyway, it's just so funny that like watching Madonna in this video, I was thinking to myself the whole time, like, this is the person who moves into these neighborhoods and all of a sudden the brown people move out. Because that's exactly what this felt like. It felt like somebody who's like, oh, they're having so much fun down there doing their little cultural thing. I want to join too. And then like, as soon as you've had like 5 seconds of doing like, that was fun. I'm headed over to the Starbucks now. See you guys later.
Yeah. She's like, oh my God, burrito. Love a good taco.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Are these authentic? Well, they came from a food truck, so they must be. Like, girl, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah. La Isla Bonita. Still a great song though. It's a quality,
so good.
Quality song. Despite the video, quality song. All right. Next we have Frozen from Ray of Light.
Interesting experience. Audio and visually, definitely the most different out of anything on this album in terms of visuals or sonically. I will not listen to this song again, probably. I will probably not watch the video again. It's not even like bad. I just like honestly was bored. It was just like her in like, you know, blue lighting in like the desert. And she's just like, oh, I'm frozen, you know, I will melt your heart or whatever. And I'm like, this is a vibe, but it's not my vibe.
Yeah, it's very much, again, Madonna on her like kind of Kabbalah thing. Like, I'm very introspective. I'm super deep. Watch me turn into a gaggle of ravens. Yeah, goth Madonna. And I don't have a problem with goth Madonna. I don't even really hate Frozen. Actually, Stephanie really likes Frozen a lot. But Frozen for me, again, like I said, I showed up with gold lame hot pants. This was not the party that I expected to be a part of. So if you're listening to the rest of this compilation and then you get to Frozen, it is a marked departure from everything else you're going to hear on here. And
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think mine's ready for it. I think if you were listening to the entirety of the album for Ray of Light, Frozen fits in very well there. It just doesn't fit into this compilation as well. And when you compare it to the rest of her career, even, it does kind of stick out as like a very different Madonna. Even just the fact that
Yeah.
like dark hair. She had dark hair in
Right.
the Ladislav Bonita video, but for most of her career, she was blonde. And in that video for Frozen, her hair is jet black.
Yeah.
Yeah, so very, very different. But I think also it, much like Ray of Light, because it's not a pop song, I think it ages a lot better too.
That's true. It's definitely ages. It sounds good today, you know?
Yeah, but you gotta be in a mood. You have to
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely be in a mood.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good song for like a movie like The Matrix.
I've never seen The Matrix.
That's okay. I'm
No,
not gonna say anything else about it because like I've seen The Matrix, but I didn't watch any of the sequels. So that's why I say it's okay. You don't have to watch The Matrix, but like that whole vibe of like people dressed in sunglasses and leather at night, like
yeah,
that's the song.
yeah.
Yeah, very industrial sounding too. It very much sounds like warehouse music.
Oh, Material Girl's next.
Yes, from the Like a Virgin album, which Like a Virgin is a classic album. Like if you could pick one Madonna album to own, buy the Like a Virgin album, chock full of hits, quintessential Madonna, great cover art, love it.
Mhm.
Material Girl is another story video. We've got Madonna as an actress, and there's this movie tycoon type guy, I guess, who wants to date her. And so he's gonna try to date her by buying her nice things, and he kind of spies on her, I guess, and realizes she doesn't like fancy things. So he pretends to be poor so that she'll date him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she's doing the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend routine from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, which is a Marilyn Monroe movie. Side note.
Right.
Yes.
I loved it. Great song, great video. I mean, love the Gentleman Prefer Blondes reference. Who doesn't love the pink dress?
Mm.
She looked great. She sounded great. I think I like girly Madonna, you know, like this is like for the girly girls, and I like it.
I like it too. I mean, it is classic Madonna. Definitely her obsession with Marilyn Monroe throughout her lifetime shines here. In recent times, when I say recent, I mean like a month ago, it got a little bit dark, her obsession with Marilyn Monroe, but that's neither here nor there. So about a month ago, Madonna did a pictorial of her laying on a bed in poses very similar to the crime scene photos taken in Marilyn Monroe's home from when she died. Uh,
Crime
so
scene photos. Was she murdered?
she died of an overdose, but people question whether or not it was a self-inflicted overdose because at the time she had been like seeing a couple of the Kennedy brothers. And so people think there might have been some government agents involved in it. But they took photos of the scene when she was found. And Madonna recently did a pictorial of her in many of the similar poses and scenes.
It's a little cringe, bro.
Yeah,
A little
it's a
cringe, bro.
bit weird.
Yeah.
So Madonna's always been obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. Always. Like she even had a tour called Blonde Ambition. Like she's always loved Marilyn Monroe.
It's
And so go ahead.
there you go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's interesting that Madonna pulls a lot of very clear inspiration from Marilyn Monroe, but when other artists do that, Madonna can get upset. Like I think of someone like a Michelle Visage, who is very clearly inspired by Madonna, who but actually has a restraining order against Madonna, I believe, because Madonna
Mhm.
felt she copied her too much. And I'm like, interesting. Interesting. Although I don't know too much about the Michelle Visage stuff. It's just like things that they've casually mentioned on Drag Race.
Yeah, when we get to express yourself, we'll have a conversation about Madonna's relationship with other celebrities.
Oh yeah. I know
Yeah,
what you're gonna say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But Madonna has always been obsessed with classic Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe, the big budget, blonde hair, tight dresses, very classic Hollywood look, the Joan Crawfords of the world, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so it was nice that at this point in her career, it was still very early in her career, but already she's pulling out a very classic look for her. Because prior to the Material Girl video, we had like a Virgin, Holiday, that very kind of street girl aesthetic, the jewelry, the belts, the fishnet, that kind of thing. And then wipe all of that away and put on a glamorous dress and a beautiful body wave. So it
Mhm.
was very clear at this point, Madonna was about to be something that you weren't expecting. For people who expected her to stay kind of that street fashion girl, she was
Mhm.
getting ready to give you a totally different look.
Right.
And this, I want to say, was one of the last singles off of that album. The next album after that was the Who's That Girl album, which Open Your Heart is off of.
Mhm.
And the hair is completely different. Papa Don't Preach is on that same Who's That Girl album. Lies La Bonita is on the Who's That Girl album.
I need to check
Totally
that album.
different. It's a great album. Actually, Who's That Girl? Like a Virgin is the Madonna album I would recommend to anybody kind of wanting to dip their feet into Madonna. Who's That Girl is a fan favorite. There's a lot of us growing up who memorized Who's That Girl.
What's the Sam favorite?
My favorite Madonna album is the soundtrack to Dick Tracy.
What's that?
It's a Madonna album, and it has Vogue on it, but it
Okay.
also has songs influenced by the movie Dick Tracy. So Madonna was dating Warren Beatty at the time,
Mhm.
and he decided to do a big budget motion picture of Dick Tracy, which was like a 1930s cartoon.
Mhm.
Random, right? And so because he was dating Madonna, Madonna's like, let me be in the movie. I want to be in the movie. So they put her in the movie, and she did a whole album of songs based on the movie. So it's a lot of like show tuney style songs.
Hmm.
And she has a Stephen Sondheim song on the soundtrack. It's a song called Sooner or Later. And you've probably heard
Okay.
Bernadette Peters sing it before.
Yeah.
Also, rest in peace, Stephen Sondheim. He died not that long ago.
Mhm.
But it's very Sondheim. Like if you hear it, you can recognize it's his style because he has a very particular style. But it's a very kind of torch songy, vampy kind of song. So it's
Right.
really nice. But yeah, that is my personal favorite Madonna album. It is the Madonna album that, as a kid, let me know that like I would always want to be her fan because she was so interesting. And I had never heard any pop performer have the range that she had. Like no performer that was as big as Madonna was doing an album of show tunes.
Right.
So that's why it was just so unique to me. But
Mhm.
the Who's That Girl album, like if you're talking about like Madonna, when she had her firm foot on people's necks and said, I'm about to be the queen of the world, Who's
Mhm.
That Girl is that album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give it a listen.
All right. So next we have well, not Who's That Girl. I'm sorry, I keep saying Who's That Girl. It's called True Blue, but Who's That Girl?
Okay.
There you go. Papa Don't Preach is from True Blue. We have another story video.
Papa don't preach. I mean, love the platinum blonde hair, the black cutout like bodysuit thing. Great look.
Every outfit from this video could be worn today. Every single one.
Yeah,
Even
even
like,
casual outfits.
yeah, the striped shirt with the leather jacket and the heels,
Mhm.
that's completely a look. That's completely a look.
Even the haircut was cute.
Yeah, yeah. Everything about that you could wear today.
Yeah.
So the video is about a young Italian girl living in the Bronx, dating a guy from Staten Island, and her dad doesn't like him because her dad has been a single dad for a really long time, and he just doesn't want his little girl to grow up too soon. But
Uh-huh.
it's too late, Dad, because me and Vinny have been having the sex, and I'm up the duff with a kiddo. And Dad, of course, is conflicted because you're supposed to be a good Catholic girl. You're not supposed to be out here sleeping with boys, smoking
Mhm.
cigarettes, all the things. And so she is presenting the argument to her dad that even though you're disappointed with me and Vinny are getting married and I'm going to have this baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so that is the video. Also, the guy who played the father, he passed away earlier in 2021. So rest in peace to him. But he was a well-known Italian American actor, and that is one of the roles that people remember him for the most.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like the video. I thought it was way different than what I was expecting from just listening to the song. Um, Now that the song didn't involve, like, the lyrical content definitely fits the video. I just, it's like a fun pop song.
Yeah.
It reminded me of, like, I feel like this video and song combo is like prototype K-pop in a lot of ways, of when we had those like big emotional story videos. Like a Tiara Day by Day is like such a crazy video.
It's just so funny because we said storyline videos, like, I'm thinking of Day by Day in my mind. I can hear the flutes going on in the background.
Yeah. Oh, great track.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what that reminds me of. It's like that's where K-pop got that from.
Absolutely. It is a pop song. It is such a pop song. It's got such great production to it. And
Uh-huh.
again, you have Madonna, who's not like the greatest singer in the world, but she emotes so well on this track that
Yeah.
even though it is a track about basically saying, I'm scared because I got pregnant and I don't want you to kick me out the house because I'm keeping my baby, it's
Mhm.
still like, Papa, don't preach.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble. Like, girl, why are we bopping to the fact that we're like in some hot shit here?
Because sometimes it's nice to bop to your sadness.
I guess so.
I think that's why like a song like Rain on Me, Lady Gaga's song, works, is because it's about bopping while being sad. It's like I'd rather be dry, but hey, I'm still alive. Let's dance and cry together, everyone.
Yes. That is a particular genre of music called like dancing through my tears.
Uh-huh.
And it's this song, it's the song you just mentioned, it's Robin's Dancing on My Own.
Dancing. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, so that is a particular genre of music. But yes, Madonna does it very well with Papa Don't Preach. Like, everything in my life is falling apart. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So yeah, love that. Next we have Lucky Star from the original Madonna 1983 album.
So is she wearing the same outfit as in the holiday video? Or is it just a very similar outfit?
It is pretty much the same outfit.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of money on the MVs. This video is weird because the person who films it spends a lot of time filming her navel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we so obsessed with her belly button? This is bizarre. Is this a kink of like the camera person or what?
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, just her like, doing a little soft shoe, a little dancing,
Yeah.
whatnot.
It's
Yeah.
cute. It's a harmless, cute number. I have no qualms.
So not much to say there. Next, we have another quintessential Madonna song and video. And I will let Mason tell us about the controversy between two of the biggest stars in the world.
It's not much of a controversy. I just think I like Lady Gaga's cover better.
I love how succinctly you shade both of them. He's like, everyone can get these strays. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's prototype born this way for sure by Lady
Oh,
Gaga.
absolutely. And it makes me sad that rather than Madonna embracing Lady Gaga and being like, oh, this is awesome that you're doing it for a new generation. We should collab, be friends, whatever. Madonna's like, I'm bitter because you took my song and you redid it and people like it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, girl, please get over yourself.
Right.
As a person who has continuously taken elements from other cultures and
Mhm.
twisted them and manipulated them to give yourself success, you have the nerve to fix your lips about the fact that Lady Gaga basically did a tribute to you by
Uh-huh.
doing Born This Way. And like, we don't talk about it anymore because we've moved on. Lady Gaga has moved on, but even Born This Way has got some very problematic lyrics to it.
I'm trying to circle back now. I guess thinking of the chorus. What parts?
the bridge. If you want to pull up the lyrics to the song for Born This Way, there are some elements of the lyrics that just don't fly for today. And I feel like no one's winning here with these two battling.
Right. I think
And again, we talked about the fact that Madonna was very much obsessed with Marilyn Monroe, practically redid the entire scene of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, has copied Marilyn Monroe's hair, clothing, aesthetic for
right.
decades. And
Mhm.
for her to be like, I'm so mad that you took influence from me, it's like, okay, would you prefer that you were dead before I decided to take tribute from you? Like, what do you want? How can this be rectified? Why are you so fucking bitter?
Right. It's very in line with circling back to Anne Rice dying, which actually we didn't talk about on camera, but we talked about before we started recording.
Yeah.
Anne Rice was super against fan fiction.
Yes, and it's like, girl, what's the problem here? People are writing fan fiction because they love your work. They're
Mhm.
not going to make money off of your characters. They're
Mhm.
just saying, I love your work. I'd like to take it to a different place than where you took it. That's
Right.
all. That's all it is.
Right.
Because even though we both believe that Louis and Lestat were gay dads, it
Mhm.
wasn't something that was explicitly implied in the storyline. So if somebody wanted to write a fan fiction of Louis getting his back blown up by Lestat, it's only because the seeds were there, but it was never taken to
Yeah.
fruition.
I think
And
I
go
think
ahead.
they do interact in a more like confirmed sexual manner in later books, but not at like the early, not in like the 90s. I think this was like a much later development in the
Oh
series.
yeah, like the original Interview with the Vampire, I want to say came out either in the late 70s or the very early 80s. And
Yeah.
so you weren't going to release a book about two gay vampires adopting a child. That wasn't going to be what was on the shelves.
Right.
Yeah,
But it was.
but it was.
There is only a queer reading of that movie and book.
Not only that, but like Tom Cruise, I'm not telling you to come out the closet, but you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing. You cannot watch that movie and not see that Tom Cruise is the only person on set who's in on the joke.
Probably. He's so good in that movie. And she hated his casting. She
He
boycotted
was
it.
he was amazing in that movie. Brad
Mhm.
Pitt was negligible at best. Kirsten Dunst gave an amazing
Mhm.
performance as such a young girl, but Tom Cruise stole that movie.
Oh yeah, that's his movie. It
Yeah,
very much, yeah. Brad Pitt was, I mean, he's hot. He just
yeah,
stood there and was like porcelain and beautiful, so he did his job.
yeah. But that movie was Tom Cruise's movie, and like I said, you can tell from his acting, he is the only one who was in on the joke.
Yeah.
Like from day one, he's like, "So I'm gay, and this is my gay partner, and we're like in a bad spot in our marriage, so we're adopting a kid together." That's what I'm reading, right, guys?
Yeah. That's all, that's one of those performances where it's like it's so iconic and it's so good, but it would never have gotten like any award prestige, you know? And that's so sad.
Yes, like Tom Cruise is never going to get an Oscar, no matter what Tom Cruise does, even if he strips himself bare until he renounces Scientology, he's never going to get an Oscar. And it just sucks because he put his foot in Lestat. Like he played the shit out of Lestat.
He has at least one nomination, I think. But yeah, he's
He,
never won.
yeah, he's never going to win. He's never going to win. He
Mhm.
might win when he dies. He's never going to win.
Yeah, they'll give him a posthumous award for like his last film.
Yeah. But in the meantime and in between time, yeah, did you pull up the lyrics for Born This Way and get an eyeful of
No, because I don't know what part you're talking about still.
it's kind of towards the bridge where she's talking about what kind like
Oh,
whether
Brit.
you're or yeah, whether you're Orient or something else born, like it's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, that's not a good line.
And then there's another song about like being chica or something like that. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
she's a chola. She's saying chola instead of. Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
Madonna,
very
why
it's very like I don't see color, like you could be purple sentiment, but added with like some weird race stuff. Even more weird race stuff. Yeah, it's a bad line.
Yeah. So express yourself. The video. The video is very much inspired by like the Weimar Republic German movie aesthetic. It is very much like
Mhm.
Metropolis and that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madonna
And
was Marlena Dietrich in the 80s in a pantsuit.
yeah. And I love this video. I love this song,
Hmm.
but I was watching it back and I was just like, he was dirty and he came into her clean bedroom to defile her. I would have made him wash his hands first. I know that's a nitpick.
That's your nitpick?
That's a nitpick. I'm like, I get that, you know, he's like, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you because you've been eyeing me and I've been eyeing you. But like, she's on this beautiful, clean white bed, bleach blonde hair, skin looking super milky. He walks in covered in like axle grease, pants falling down his body, and he goes to touch her, and his hands are just caked in oil. And I'm just like, go wash your hands first. But you know, I guess when you're doing the sexy times, people don't think about that, but I do. I think about all the different diseases that can be introduced into sensitive nether regions by dirty hands.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's a pet peeve of mine. But no, she looks amazing in this video. She's got this really cute kind of bob with finger waves in it. Very, very cute. A lot of imagery of her kind of trying to say that while the people working in the factory are slaves to capitalism, she too is a slave because she's
Uh-huh.
like a cat on a leash. And I'm like, I guess, girl,
Hmm.
I guess. But yeah, beautiful video, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good. And
Yeah,
it's a really good song.
yeah. Next, we have Open Your Heart, which a lot of people have big problems with this video.
Oh, I really like the video and the song.
I like them both. I think that they're cute, but a lot of people have big problems with this video. The big problems that a lot of people have are the little boy kind of fantasizing
Yeah.
about getting into the titty bar.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like the framework is bad, but once we're in the titty bar, I'm like, I'm having a good time, guys.
Yeah.
Um, like I feel like this was to me one of the best examples of Madonna as like a true pop star and performer because there's a lot of shots where it's just her in a gorgeous bodysuit dancing and giving face, and it comes across really well. Like her star power really came through in this video.
Right. And I like the fact that like we have such a weird cast of characters
Hmm.
observing Madonna
Yeah.
because in a lot of ways that cast of characters and the way that they behave are a statement about who she believes her audience is. So her audience is the queer woman who is gender nonconforming. Her
Mhm.
audience are these two sailors who look like they may be into each other. So she's saying I have a gay demographic. Then
Mhm.
it's like the guy who's twisting his wedding ring because he doesn't want to acknowledge that like he's got a thing for her, so
Uh-huh.
he's got to do it when no one else can see and in a very quiet private type of way. And so I appreciated that. And then like when she leaves from being in the viewing room, she's in this outfit and the person that she wants to most engage with is this kid, because in essence she's kind of saying that's the audience that's seeing me. That's the audience that's devouring me. But the audience that I most want to engage with are the young people.
Hmm.
And so I think that the video is fine. I understand the part with the little kid can get icky. And then also, I think a lot of people misunderstood the relationship between Madonna and the kid. To me, he came across as like her little brother or like one of her relatives. It didn't come across as somebody that she was having any kind of romantic relationship with.
Yeah, I did not walk away from this video being like, Madonna's about to fuck that kid. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they must know each other. Cute.
Yeah. So like the kiss, I think, is the reason why some people took it into a weird place.
Hmm.
I didn't see it that way. The part that I thought was weird is this little kid hanging outside of a titty bar trying to like play peekaboo with the titty bar posters. I'm like, get out of here, kid. But
Yeah.
other than that, you know, I wasn't really too worried about it. But I think it's a cute video. I think it's a cute song. I think the little synthesizers in the song are really nice moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cool song.
It's honestly one of my favorite Madonna songs. I really love the song.
Yay! I'm so glad. Again, Open Your Heart is from True Blue. So you've got Life La Bonita, you've got Open Your Heart and Papa Don't Preach, all on the True Blue album.
I
So
will have to grab a copy.
yeah, good stuff.
Man,
Next go ahead.
the album ends here for me. We got 2 more
Oh,
songs, but the album ends here for me.
okay, so the next song is Dress You Up from the Like a Virgin album. I really like Dress You Up. I like that song. I'm sorry. I like that song.
It is my least favorite song on this entire album for sure. I couldn't even tell you what that song sounded like, and I heard it an hour ago.
I love this song. I love how deep she goes in the bridge, like all over your body. I like that part.
Mhm.
I like the video because the video is actually her doing a stage performance, and it's
Uh-huh.
all of these girls in the audience dressed as Madonna, hollering the lyrics at her while she's dancing. And
Right.
she's got on this really beautiful kind of like jacket. I don't think it's a leather jacket. It's just a jacket, but it's like painted on the back. It's
Mhm.
very artistic, and she's got on like blue tights with a blue skirt over and like a blue fishnet underneath, and she's very much looking like Madonna, the
Yeah.
80s pop princess. And she's just giving you stage. She's giving you star power. She's giving you charisma.
Huh.
I like the song. I like the lyrics. It's all about how like I'm going to dress you up in my love. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
basically worship your body and coach you in my love juices. So appreciate that. But yeah, that is Dress You Up and fun times, fun times. But yeah, she was pretty much over that look by the time she did that video, which is hilarious to me. There's
Uh-huh.
girls in that audience who probably spent hundreds of dollars trying to get the Madonna look. And Madonna immediately with her next album comes out with a completely different look. She's like, I done chopped my hair off, I done bleached it platinum blonde, and yeah, that's not my look anymore, girl.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Ah, well. I hope they
Yeah,
learned a lesson.
yeah, be your own self.
Yeah.
So the last song on here is Celebration.
I mean, you're okay. I just don't understand. Like, you're about to make a compilation album with your greatest hits, and you're Madonna. You've had hits, like staples of American and worldwide music. And you're going to add this to the collection of songs?
So the lyrics of the song include like lyrics from her other hits. So I don't believe that she put this on there because she expected it to be as classic as everything else. I really and truly believe she put it on there because she kind of just wanted to button up this collection of songs with something that incorporates all of the other songs. But the song's just not good. Like
It's just not good. It has a bad
it's very
chorus.
generic.
Yeah, I don't like the hooks. I don't like the chorus. I don't like the video. I did not enjoy the experience of the song at all.
Yeah, I didn't like the video either. Again, it's more of Madonna being like, I'm dancing in a room by myself, and my dancing is the same as all these other younger people doing super interesting, fun things as well.
Uh-huh.
And it's one thing that is weird. Like, Madonna started her career as kind of a street performer. Like she moved to New York from, I believe she was from Michigan. She moved to New York and kind of was a part of that whole New York art scene, you know, Jean-Paul Basquiat,
Mhm.
breakdancing, all that kind of stuff. And so she was part of that young street energy at the time. And then she became pop. And I feel like it's very strange that so many years later, like practically 40 years later, Madonna is still trying to give off that energy like she's from that particular culture when Madonna hasn't been like street art, street punk
Mhm.
Madonna since the very early 80s.
Right.
And you know, Madonna, the people that she's been associated with when it comes to like high art and high fashion are
Mhm.
legendary people. Like Madonna was one of the first people I ever knew who wore Tom Ford.
Right.
You know, Madonna has had collaborations with Jean-Paul Gaultier. She has been a part of just countless other movements. Her breast cones whole look,
Mhm.
that is from another designer, Terry Mugler. She's just had so many moments where she's had access to the highest levels of celebrity, art, fashion, and fame. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's bizarre that she keeps holding on to this person who she hasn't been for longer than she was when she was in that life. Like she was in her very
Mm-hmm.
early 20s in that life. She's now in her 60s.
Right.
She's lived that life 3 times over, yet and still she keeps going back to that. And I wish that she would just let it go and be who she is now. If being who she is now is about exploiting the fact that she has access to opulence, do that. Do
Right.
that.
Honestly, I would live for Madonna to come back with like a glossy pop track, just singing about how rich she is. I would totally buy that.
Yeah, like she's done the I'm Madonna bitch song, which was trash. And she's put out some music in recent years, but again, it's just like she keeps going back to the same old. Like moments in Madonna's least greatest hits. She did a performance, I want to say it might have been for the Grammys or maybe for MTV, where it was her and Maluma, I think, which Maluma is this super hot Latin artist.
Hmm.
God, that man is gorgeous. I would drink his sweat. But anyway, she does this performance where she's like dancing all around him and trying to give off the idea that he and her are attracted to one another. Now, I understand somebody's going to say you're being very ageist by assuming someone like Maluma wouldn't be attracted to Madonna. But this is the thing. She doesn't frame it as if the attraction is that they are somehow connected because of their love of music or connected because they like to dance. It is like he's standing still, not dancing, basically just singing his little part while
Hmm.
I'm grinding on him and shaking my ass to him and
Hmm.
gyrating around him. And it's like, girl, that's played out. Like that's super played out. If anything, you should be the one standing still making him gyrate for you.
Right.
And there's that. There was when Tidal first became a streaming service that Jay-Z was investing in, he did this big like signing event to get all these celebrities to sign on to Tidal. And Madonna was there and Drake was there, and she like tongue kissed Drake out of nowhere. And it was super bizarre because he
Hmm.
didn't ask for it. And if it had been the other way around, if Drake had just like grabbed Madonna out of nowhere and tongue kissed her, people would
Right.
have been like, oh, that's SA. But she does it, and it's like, oh, it's just because I'm a hot older lady and I can do sexy things like this.
Hmm.
And that is the other thing that I think has been a hallmark of Madonna's career. Madonna fought so hard against the misogyny that she encountered at every single turn early on in her career. Everything they said she couldn't do was because she was a woman, and that her flaunting her sexuality, her having her boyfriends, her living her life was all against what society expected women to do. And so her way of kind of fighting against that misogynistic attitude is by being the misogynistic pieces of shit. Instead of allowing them to treat her that way, she would treat them that way. And I
Hmm.
think we're at a point now in both feminism and just social equity where it's not about flipping the power structure to being like now women can demean men. It's
Uh-huh.
about all of us being in a place where we're all allowed to be who we are and not be beholden to expectations and stereotypes. And I don't think that Madonna's gotten past that yet.
No, she definitely hasn't. She definitely does not have any young person on her team at all. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, she's got her kids, but her kids very much are framed by her.
Right.
Yeah. But she needs some young people who aren't as kind of mesmerized by the Madonna legacy, and some younger people who
Right.
are like gonna really examine kind of where she is in the story and give her real and honest feedback. Like recently Madonna has been upset because people have been critiquing her BBL. And she feels like it's wrong for you to critique my body. I can do what I want with my body. And, you're only saying these things about me because I'm an older lady. And I don't think that she understands that for many people, we don't have critiques about BBLs because we're trying to body shame. A big part of the critique about BBLs is that they're a super dangerous surgery, and that people who engage in BBLs are perpetuating this idea that in order to be deemed attractive by current society, you have to have a super tiny waist and a big old ridiculous donkey donk back there.
Mhm.
And on Madonna, who has always been very slim. Her badonkadonk looks ridiculous and very much enforces the fact that it's fake. It was a BBL. Well, girls are out here going to the Dominican Republic getting BBLs and dying.
Mm-hmm.
They're dying, they're getting personally deformed, they're spending thousands of dollars that they don't really have in order to be able to be the Instagram baddie aesthetic. So the criticism is not the fact that you, Madonna, have a bad BBL. It's about the fact that you even have a BBL at all. When you go from being a feminist icon, telling women, do what you want, be free, and then being like, but I also make sure that I am meeting the current beauty standard that men are lusting for,
Right.
that I haven't gotten out from under that need to be considered sexually attractive. I guess that's the main thing is like, Madonna, you're in your 60s and you are still out here trying to thirst trap. You're still out here trying to be deemed attractive. At
Mm-hmm.
what point in your life will you stop even caring about that?
And there's plenty of celebrities that are Madonna's age or older who people, if they're on a red carpet, people are like, oh my God, so gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
when
they're
Jane
just,
Fonda steps on a red carpet, Twitter's always like, wow, Jane Fonda looks great. Look how beautiful she looks.
mhm.
And because she dresses for her age.
I don't believe in dressing for your age because again, like I said, you do what you want. But
Right.
what people like about Jane Fonda is that Jane Fonda isn't dressing to attract. She's
Right.
dressing how she feels beautiful.
Yeah. Everything fits her body very well.
Yeah. So when it comes to like older celebrities who I personally love to see them anytime they're on the red carpet, one of my favorite older celebrities to see is Jane Curtis.
Oh, I love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, every time I see her, I'm just like, if I could live in a world where I could age the way you do, I would be very, very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't make an effort to be super covered up. She doesn't make an effort to be, super naked. She just lives.
Right.
And she lives very free. And I love seeing her. Susan Sarandon is another one. I
Mm-hmm.
love seeing her. She just lives. There's so many older women out here who don't give a fuck about beauty. Another one that I really like, and for some reason her name is not coming up to me right now, but she was in the movie Orlando, and she was also in the Doctor Strange movie. She's kind of a gender androgynous actress, really tall white lady,
Tilda
super.
Swinton.
Thank you.
Tilda Swinton. Yeah.
Tilda Swinton is an icon.
Yeah.
She's fucking amazing. And again, it's not about being covered up. It's not about being naked. It's about doing the things that make you feel beautiful. And I feel like too much of what Madonna's given out over the years is like, I feel beautiful if other people think I'm beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And I just wish that she would let that go.
Me too.
Yeah. Because like one of the things that has been going on with the fat acceptance movement that we have started to really examine is the idea of flattering clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Buying clothing that is flattering, that
Mm-hmm.
makes it to where your stomach roll isn't as defined. And if you've got back rolls, it smooths out your back and things like that. And there was a really real question about like, okay, you can wear the most flattering clothes that you can find, but is it going to hide the fact that you're fat? No. Then why even try? Why even do that? Are you doing it because you're ashamed? And if you're ashamed, are you ashamed because you don't like you? Or are you ashamed because you think other people don't like you? And so you have a lot of people in the fat acceptance body positivity movement who are saying, I have roles. I have roles. I know I have roles. I
Mm-hmm.
feel no need to wear clothes that hide my roles anymore. I feel no need to wear clothes that hide my fupa anymore.
Right.
I wear things that personally make me feel beautiful. And if that means my fupa's hanging out, if that means my back rolls are showing, then I'm going to wear this bright purple glitter halter top because I feel gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the fact that you can see my rolls.
Right.
And I just wish that Madonna could bring a little bit more of that energy into her currently.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mm.
All
But
right.
overall, I want to end on a super positive note when it comes to Madonna. Out of the 18 songs, I could say at least, in my opinion, 14 of them would listen to again and again. Like, love them so much. Madonna is an amazing talent in terms of artistry, having her finger on the pulse. We did the 1-disc version, but if you do the 2-disc version, even more hits.
Uh-huh.
Madonna's got some videos that, even though the songs weren't big hits, the videos are amazing. I highly recommend the video for Bad Girl. But she is somebody who really changed the game, and a lot of people who are operating in celebrity spaces currently, they have a certain freedom that they wouldn't have had if a Madonna hadn't come before.
Right. Yeah, I like a lot of the songs. I think my top 3 were Hung Up, Vogue, and Open Your Heart would probably be my favorites. Oh, but I like Material Girl. No, Lies La Bonita. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of good songs. I guess I can't pick a top 3. But I feel like even though there's a lot of very valid criticism of Madonna, as you discussed, you're right. Respect should always be put on her name because she really did that. She really broke open the gates for so many women in music and
Yeah.
women just worldwide, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. You know, sometimes it starts from a place of privilege. Sometimes a woman of privilege might say, even though I'm privileged, there's still things that I don't have access to that I feel like I deserve.
Mhm.
And even though trickle down economics is not a real thing, trickle down activism can sometimes be that. Sometimes it starts with one group being oppressed, asking for freedom, and then slowly other people start to see their own desire for freedom.
Mhm.
And I think, along with Madonna being who she was in terms of owning her sexuality and owning her dating history and owning her public image and not being afraid to display confidence, you've got women from other genres that are doing the same thing.
Mhm.
You have example, corsets. Wearing corsets as outerwear. That was a big Madonna thing early on. If you look at clips from Selena right before she passed away, corsets were a big part of her outfits because
Mhm.
Madonna did that. Look at Rihanna and who she's been as a public entity. Definitely at every point in her narrative, she's taken back what people had to say about her dating history, about her music, about her financial moves, about her ability to be a person outside of music.
Mhm.
And I really and truly believe that if we didn't have a Madonna, we wouldn't have a lot of this, or at least we wouldn't have gotten it as soon. Also, Madonna was a big advocate for other artists who she didn't see as direct competition. For instance, Alanis Morissette was signed to Maverick, and her album You Ought to Know came out on Maverick. And Alanis Morissette is another person that you kind of put in the feminist pantheon
Mhm.
for You Gotta Know and so many of her other songs. Madonna has been a supporter of the arts. Madonna has been a huge supporter of the gay community at every turn in her career. She's collaborated with gay artists, dancers, designers, choreographers. She has given to numerous charities that worked on housing for gay people, that worked during the AIDS epidemic to help fund research and to help
Mhm.
provide areas of care. There's so many things that Madonna has done that have been fearless and have been forward thinking for their time. And so, yeah, I may not be the biggest fan of who Madonna is currently. And there may be a lot of things that I desire to see Madonna be that she's not. But nothing can take away from who she has been. And I think that's the reason why this was such a fun listen for me, because it reminds me of who she has been. And I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, love who she had been.
Right. All right.
So, no Instagram of the day. Just look up Madonna on Instagram, guys. Don't be silly.
She's not hiding. So the next thing you'll see from us is the Color Purple review. That'll be next. And then the next music review will be FX. And then after those, Bad Buddy might be over by then.
Yeah, it should be over by then
Yeah.
because they did episode 7 this weekend. But yeah, I can't wait to talk about The Color Purple because it is a movie near and dear to both mine and my family's hearts.
Mhm.
And much like Madonna, it's something I grew up with that I don't think that I can see with a critical eye. So I'm very interested to hear what it looks like to a different eye, a younger eye. And again,
I mean,
no,
a lot of classics are classics for a reason, you know? So I'm
I
probably not
will
going to read
accept a
it.
hot take. I will accept a hot take, but I have a strong feeling that this movie, because it was directed by Steven Spielberg, will be so engaging that you're gonna like it regardless.
I think I'm going to because I love Spielberg. I mean, this was like when he was still good, and he might be back on top. I haven't seen the new West Side Story, but like everyone's saying that it's like Spielberg's best in like decades. So I'm really excited.
I'm just trying to remember what he put out before, like besides Ready Player One, what has he done in the last few years?
Lincoln,
Oh, okay.
Daniel Day Lewis and Lincoln. No, not a movie you know.
Hey,
It's
you've never seen The
boring.
Matrix. I think we all have blind spots.
Or The Color Purple.
Yeah, so there you go. We all have blind spots. But yeah, Lincoln is not a movie I'm sure it's one of those movies that was made for Oscars. I'm pretty sure that's what
Oh
it was.
yeah. It was like made for Daniel Day-Lewis to get an Oscar. All the stories of him, like, he wouldn't break character even on set. You'd have to address him as President Lincoln. It's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing
I heard
that.
the same thing about Jim Carrey with Man on the Moon, and I heard that like there were people who wanted to quit because they were so fucking tired of his bullshit.
Yeah, I'd have a hard time working with a method actor like that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.